Hello, it's Rays of Red once again. You may have noticed I am no longer in the super spooky lighting. That's because I decided to switch to paper notes, and I found that while I was trying to do the spooky lights with the paper notes, it was hard finding something that looked nice but also made it not hard to read the paper. But anyway, yeah, so today we're gonna be starting at tier 4, and that's cool, right? You gotta be excited for that. Anyway, tier 4. Okay, we're gonna start with Sigis. This is once again a movie clip, except this time it has music over it because it's a clip from the film Begotten, which has no music, from what I understand. It's considered very disturbing, and it's a very symbolic art film with, like I said, no music or dialogue. It's I believe it's known to be a little confusing, but also kind of boring. But I'll still give it a chance and maybe do something on that. But anyway, yeah, this is that. Even if you haven't seen Begotten, I think it was like the one clip that gets shared around of that movie. It's a weird figure in like the rocking chair, and it's about the movie is about like God slicing himself open, and from that there's something reborn, and it's the Garden of Eden and new life, something or other. But it looks freaky, so it's on this tier. It's on the Iceberg. Pete the Meat Puppet. This is fun. This one's fun. It's a nice little music comedy. Comedy music video, and it starts out. It's sort of like Pinocchio, but with meat, with more meat, because his mom was a butcher, and she made him come to life with, unused meat, and then he came to life and went out to find his purpose. It's a wholesome story. I guess it's mostly disturbing because meat. People find the meat boy, and it looks a little off, I admit. But it's family story. It's the most wholesome story of all time, so why don't you go check it out? Poco Poco Peepoton. Ugh. Don't make me say that word. I can't say it. Another Nana 825763 video. It's this adorable paper cutout animation, but it does not stay adorable for very long. I don't want to spoil it, but it involves the darkness, consuming, and a hand, and terrified children, because it's great to have terrified children. You need that in your YouTube video. And I believe it's considered generally accepted as an allegory for abuse, which makes it more disturbing. But it is very good. I do love Nana's work. And it is also something, if you haven't, you should definitely check it out. Meat Sleep is a channel with about 100 videos. It's like a mystery. And I haven't seen all of them yet. I was thinking maybe that could be a future video with that, possibly. I get the general vibe of it, and There's these hidden messages about like psychiatry and neurology, but also like the general theme of being trapped, and it does look pretty spooky. It seems like, and it does seem pretty disturbing. So you gotta unravel the mystery. I support spooky projects like that. Keep making them. Make more. I want I want all of them. I want to own all of them. I don't think I can own them, but I will someday somehow. Okay, so on the iceberg it's written Nelson space brother. It's actually Nelson's apostrophe S, with an apostrophe S, Nelson's brother. And it's a Danker Beef video. So congratulations, Danker Beef. You also made it on here. The, I'd say Danker Beef is more weird. Uh, who made that? The cats and the cows. Uh, They also did something for Adult Swim. Fuck. Kyriak. Kyriak. Is that how I've heard it pronounced that way? Or it's either Syriac or Kyriak. That one. That's the one. I consider that stuff. I think that one. Kyriak has some more. Uh, like I said, that the meow video that belongs here. But anyway, yeah, it's a Danker Beef video about. It's about Walter, the fire truck and monster truck enthusiast. Um, and it has a spooky creature transformation, and it's spooky. Not it's spooky, but it's looking for disturbing. Uh, we need a better definition of what we consider disturbing. No offense to the video creator or the Iceberg creator. Also, no offense to Danker Beef. Danker Beef is awesome, but yeah. Tier 5, possibly in Michigan. This is the greatest musical of all time. It's about, a serial killer follows a couple of gal pals home, and he tries tries to get one of them, but he it doesn't go as he expects, and the hunter becomes the hunted. Don't want to spoil too much, I, but I won't spoil the ending. But it's great. Uh, Pride Month's coming up, so it's your perfect Pride Month video because queer subtext, queer and feminist, and also they also I was about to spoil it, but there's animal masks involved. I'll say that. And I believe the song in the beginning, if you've probably heard it, some sort of animal cannibal, you know. Uh, I bite at the hand it feeds me, slap at the face that eats me. That's the first line. Or no, that's not the first line. The first line is, how do I find this? How do I meet the strangest man? They always seem to find me. That's the first line, but this is besides the point. Possibly in Michigan is really good, and you should watch it. And it's because it's awesome, and it's a classic, and the soundtrack is cool. Willie and Afton burning in hell. This is a clip from the Squimpus McGrimpus analog horror series about Five Nights at Freddy's. And it's that clip which became a meme, and again, seems way too far down because it's not at all obscure. It's the Michael, don't leave me here. Michael! And then he screams because he's burning alive. Uh, slash burning undead. I don't know if I can, how life fits into there exactly. But yeah, it's a larger series. I'm not sure why you wouldn't include like the original upload of the video, because there's more disturbing stuff in that spooky story about dead kids, of course. We all love a good dead kid story. But yeah, it's Squimpus McGrimpus. I believe they do have a video of just or they have a playlist of all their chapters in order. And the specific video this was clipped from was, I believe, Finale. So again, they should have just had that video on the list, or just referred to Squimpus McGrimpus. I don't know why they put this hyper specific clip cut from it. But yeah, spooky, iconic. Really, it is iconic. Ooh, the memory hole shaving cream torture. This is some sort of weird art channel thing, but it's someone, they're gagged with an 8-ball, from pool, and they're in a straight jacket with a bunch of shaving cream on their face, which is, shaving cream torture. And okay, and at the very end of the video, it just cuts to baby footage because memory. Yeah, like some weird art channel that does stuff like this. And we love weird art channels. There's not enough. Just weird performance art on the internet. Hello. Hi. I'm back. And welcome to Tier 6 of the Iceberg. The Disturbing Videos Iceberg. If you can see, it's day. I would have recorded last night, but I was not feeling well and was tired, and I don't feel like waiting until tonight. I just wanna. I need to finish this because I can't keep stalling. But anyway, tier 6. We're gonna finish this iceberg today because I have all my notes ready, and we're gonna do it. Okay. First on tier 6, it's written this video may include a nightmare. It's supposed to be induce, because that's what the video is called. And that makes more sense, because the video is supposed to cause you nightmares. And it's a bunch of spooky images and reversed clips, and a lot of the clips are actually from other videos on this iceberg. Uh, it's just, spooky creepypasta style video made of other spooky things, and you throw it together and it becomes spooky. And that's the video. HappyMouse.exe trailer. This is a trailer for a game based on SuicideMouse.avi. Super slime. I'm sorry, YouTube. You don't like that word. It's by G Blast Man, and it has a spooky Mickey Mouse face, and it's spooky and it's a creepy poster. Ooh. Don't open your eyes in parentheses cursed video. I'm assuming that, not in reference, not to be confused with the game Don't Open Your Eyes, which is that visual novel ASMR horror game where you're not opening your eyes. Or you can't open your eyes, but the game ends when you open your eyes. So you gotta keep them closed if you want to see the ending. The true ending. I'm assuming this is the one with the Russian title by Chris Sadler. And it's the spooky, grainy footage of a weird figure. And then, there's plenty of cuts of blood and gore and spooky footage. And I guess I think it's about a creepy boogeyman that kills people, and there's this one guy with it's not Jeff the Killer, but there is a picture of Jeff the Killer that shows up, but the one guy does have a smile in his face. It's spooky, and I get why it's disturbing. This one, it's not extreme gore, not the worst. But it's pushing what's allowed on YouTube, I think. Just because YouTube is very finicky about. I mean, in certain YouTube's rules are nebulous at best. But yeah, it's a spooky time. Spooky, bloody, murderous time, and that's fun. Just remember to not open your eyes. Keep them closed. Keep them closed. Okay, tier 7. We're blasting through these. Let's go. Tier 7. Sun.avi. I'm assuming it's the one by Creepy Shed and not the Little Mama and Avril Lavigne. That clip this is the clip from a music video that also comes up when you search Sun.avi. If you look it up, you'll see it. And it's a weird guy with a weird face, and I'm assuming who is the son. Because I believe there's also a mother.avi and I think father.avi. And there's a clown painting that's spooky and turns weird, and at the end there's a circular saw. I try not to spoil it. I'm not I mean, it's nothing. It's creepy. It's nothing that's gonna gross you out or anything. It's cool, and I assume it's part of something larger, which is always fun. So that's cool. I don't have much to say. Uh, it's intriguing. So check it out, I guess. Unless you can't, unless I don't know, you don't think you can handle it. 01A51 COD. This is like it's an 8-second video of a woman in a white dress and a bunny mask in front of a trailer, probably representing something or other. Probably representing something or other. I have all of the media literacy. Um, and there's upside down text. I have it written down. It's how nice of you to visit our territory. A special gift is on its way. And the background track is all screaming. I read it as maybe relating to family or maybe a not so great home life. Although that because like abuse is often and the deconstruction of what we see as an ideal family is often a theme in horror. Um, but and then there's the last shot, and it's a dead deer head. Go ahead and watch it. Uh, like I said, I may have spoiled it. It's hard not to spoil what happens in 8 seconds. But it's different if uh, it's still worth watching, even if you know what happens, because it's very aesthetic and interesting, and that's cool. And I'm assuming it's also a part of something I believe it's also a part of something larger. But yeah, check that out. Treats for Beast. This is once again a channel, not a video, and I've seen some of their stuff. We gotta love Who Wants to Gnaw on Human Bones with the and the weird cone thing, the cone head creature, the very conical. And another one about plastic men, which is creepy and is actually disturbing because it's about things that like sexual abuse and trauma. And trauma in general is a very common theme in like disturbing horror stuff. But uh, yeah, check out that channel. Check out Treats for Beasts. They have a lot of stuff. Cat and the Fiddle and Mickey is a clip from Babes in Toyland, and like, does something that scared you when you were like 4 count as a disturbing piece of media? Like, it's a little uncanny. I can see like when a kid's young and looking at it, it might have freaked them out a little bit because the costume's a little weird, especially the eyes. I believe they just had a monkey in the suit. Uh, to be Mickey. But like uncanny, sure. Maybe it freaked you out as a kid, but I don't think it belongs on the realm of disturbing. Oh boy, tier 8. Yeah, a lot these tiers get like fewer and fewer videos, you know. Like these tiers only have 2 videos each, so these are going to be extra fast. Save Them Jesus. It's a picture of Jesus, and it has this nice Christian music, and it's soothing, but and then it starts becoming evil and distorted and demonic and spooky, and the but Jesus becomes demonic Jesus and Satan. Uh, and it was originally this you had to watch it by re-upload. It was originally by Imagine who supposedly had other videos in this vein, but I think now it just does like animation or whatever. I need to see if I can find a decent archive of that. But it is an older video, so maybe at the time it was a bit more shocking. My ears are crooked, whatever. But and I guess it's blasphemous, but nothing we haven't already seen in terms of blasphemy in film and art. You know, we already had the Piss Christ, and thank you Andy Warhol for Piss Christ. But yeah, spooky and scary. And just creepy. Demons are creepy. Yeah. OMG, ooh la la. Once again, Shay St. John. She is a favorite of this iceberg. And you know that. Okay, so she's trying to put on that horrifying 90s electrode beauty mask. Editor note. I'm the editor, so note to myself. Put a picture of that. You know, the anti-aging mask. And it's just. Let's look. Just look like right here. Fucking mirrored camera. I'm too tired for this. Just look right here. But yeah, she's putting on, but she keeps. This one. I don't. This one's not. I still consider the broken neck doll one creepier. I think this is a bit more of just an absurd. This one's a bit more absurd and comedic, but also fucking that 90s mask. I wonder if you could probably still find those. You know, use the electrodes to stop yourself from aging is apparent. It's supposed to be like a workout for your face. Just I'll try finding that infomercial. Everyone else needs to see it because it's if you haven't because it's glorious. Tier 9. That's all I have to say. Tier 9. Okay, it's written God Wrath is Hell. It's supposed to be God apostrophe S. God's Wrath is Hell. .mpg. And it's I forget what the movie is called. Like because I've seen this clip re-uploaded on a different title, like us as like 7 Minutes in Hell or whatever, and it's a movie. It's an evangelical movie, and it's about a girl going to hell because like she went to a party and then she died and then she sees hell and then she's in hell and that's spooky. So don't go to hell unless you want to, you know. I believe it was Oscar Wilde. He said he didn't want to go to heaven because none of his friends would be there. So maybe all your friends are in hell. But anyway, hell is spooky. The viral video, and it's a creepy, distorted guy saying something I can't understand before, you know, there's a gun, and there's a dark hallway shot, and then there's a demon. No, this one's spooky. I guess the implication, you know, shooting yourself is disturbing. But I don't quite understand what it means. I'm not smart enough for this video, but it's spooky, it's fun. There's nothing graphic or anything. So it's just a good spooky time. And we're all for that, except this is a disturbing video. Iceberg, and I want to be disturbed. Okay, tier 10. This is a very special tier, and you will soon know why. Okay, so what are you thinking? This is one I have seen like a really long time ago, but I had to refresh my memory because um I didn't remember the title and like the ending. And it's someone, there's like a cloth over their head, like a cloth hood, but there's a smiley face drawn on it. Uh, and they're covered in their body's like covered in a garbage bag. At first, it looks like they're tied up, but I don't think they are because they move their hands and they smear something on their face. And the reason I guess it's called "What Are You Thinking?" Is because at the end they hold up a sign and that's what it says. And I wonder if that's like even supposed to be ominous. I think I the thing that people think is scary is that people supposedly say it's from the deep web and people don't understand what the deep web is. It could have been, but like there's enough the deep web has enough mundane stuff. You could pull anything. It doesn't make it necessarily more sinister. Uh but uh I imagine what are you thinking? I don't even think that's supposed to be like something deeper. I think it literally is what the fuck does this video make you think? What do you think is happening? I think that video just exists to be weird. Unless I'm wrong. I could look more into it. But it does make sense that you do weird shit and then you just ask the audience, "So what do you think this means?" But I wouldn't. It's weird, and I guess it's vaguely ominous because it looks slightly like someone's in a weird hostage situation. But I wouldn't call it disturbing. Besides, maybe there's some urban legends around it that I don't remember, but it's just someone on the internet being weird, which should be normal to this. That doesn't disturb me that people are weird on and make weird art things on the internet. Okay, so I mentioned a weird jump in severity, and this is it. Okay, everything else on this list is allowed and can be found on YouTube. You know, maybe there's like brief re-uploads of this on YouTube. The video in question is Funky Town, and in my notes I just wrote no. I haven't seen this, but I know what it is, and I don't think it's necessary, because I already know it's. If you haven't heard of the Funky Cat Town, not the song, well, it's a cartel beheading, gore, live leak thing, and so a bunch of guys, like I think this is the one where they tear off a guy's face and his hands, but he's pumped with enough drugs so they can record him so he doesn't die before they have a chance to record him, and probably meant send a message to not fuck with those guys, because look what those guys are gonna do. You just don't get in their way. But the reason it's called Funky Town is I believe there's like a stereo playing, or you know, boombox speaker, whatever the fuck they were using, and it's playing Funky Town, you know. And again, why I don't everything else again YouTube. You can find this on YouTube. I don't this It has a very similar issue with the disturbing movies Iceberg, weirdly, is that after a certain point, like it stops being disturbing because, you know, narrative and, you know, the things that the fiction, or because the movie and the writing is genuinely terrifying, or the art is creepy. And then after a certain point it just gives you gore compilations, which that's cheating. You don't No, that's not. You don't get to call that a disturbing film. And the rest of these are like art projects, so this really does not belong. The ones that I like, a lot of these are meant to be disturbing. I think First of all, poor taste to put it Funky Town, but also just fucking cheating. You can't just no, just no. Uh, yes. So don't look this up. There's no point. There's no point to watching this. Like it's don't go over to Live Leak to find the Funky Town. Why don't go watch some of the other videos that I said were good? Watch some of the cool stuff with, artistic merit and love and effort and that are genuinely interesting. Don't 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 add the murder shock crime footage at the end of a list like this. Especially when the other one was literally just a guy in a bathtub and doing weird stuff. These I don't even know how these are the same tier. Like you couldn't even keep the tier, kind of. I don't know. Okay, so my final thoughts on this iceberg. You've heard my criticisms. Okay, the weird jump in severity, but in general, the iceberg aspect doesn't really seem to be playing into anything because it doesn't seem to be by obscurity because like some of the what have you done video is pretty well known, I think, and it's definitely not by severity because it's like the point of the iceberg is that whether you're doing obscurity or severity, generally obscurity, it starts very well known and it's gradually getting into like more niche, more obscure, maybe harder to find stuff. But this one doesn't really have a progression until the very end when it's a gore video, when it's someone actually being murdered on camera, which does not really fit the whole with all the other cool art projects and fiction. And again, on YouTube. Although, unless every once in a while you can sneak a gore video onto YouTube and it before it gets removed. But yeah, and again, and another thing is I think this is more subjectivity over what we can call disturbing versus just creepy. Because a lot of them, like, disturbing generally, it's because there's some heavy topics there, and again, that existential sort of disgust, that existential discomfort with life, and knowing that this thing it now exists in some extent, whether it be in another person's mind or similar to something that does happen, but you don't want to think about the fact that it happens. Just if you've ever seen Gummo, just the emotion you get through the entirety of Gummo, that nothing is okay, but and that you're just that's disturbing. It's not horror, but it's disturbing, and it leaves you feeling, I don't want to say hollow. It's an uncomfortable feeling, but that's the point. Or even just like it's another happiness. That one part in happiness, not even the one part, the couple parts. That one plot line in happiness. That's a disturbing, but it's also dark comedy. It's just watch Happiness. That's a really good movie. The Devils is another but like you can't just do creepy and say that's disturbing. It's gotta and a lot of disturbing movies are horror movies, but they're not like and they're not mutually exclusive, but they can exist independently. They're not one and the same. They're not joined. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling, but those are my thoughts on this Iceberg. I believe there's a sequel made by the same person. I'll check it out and see if that's worth looking into, but or if there's a better Iceberg, or just a cool list. I can make a list of creepy stuff too, so. But anyway, I need to finish recording and then editing, and I have stuff to do. And honestly, recording it at this point, I'm just stalling to stop recording, because then I have to go into editing, and I have executive dysfunction. I have trouble doing. That's my problem. But anyway, it's not even that hard to edit these. I'm just like, nah. I don't want to start. Why can't videos just come out of my mind and then be good? But anyway, that was Iceberg. The Iceberg. That was fun until the end. You don't need to see Funky Town. Unless we're just talking about the song. The song's fine. But, goodbye, everyone. For now, I'm not gonna, die or anything. Not that I would know. I don't plan on dying or anything before the next video. I'll say that. So goodbye. Don't get your face cut off, I guess.
Because in essence, rejuvenating does for the face what exercise does for the body. And the way it does that is there's a control unit that during a facial session actually sends an impulse up to the zones in the mask